have our chief photographer, Justin Stevens, out there. We will get up his shot here very shortly. But Alex, if we can just zoom in and show people where that rotation was. We kind of have this hook echo on radar. Most people probably did have their alerts go on their phones from the wireless emergency alerts. But this is producing not only some very heavy winds or some very heavy rain, it is also producing some lightning, thunder, and gusty winds. Alex, if we can go to the velocity, the wind shear. All right, so there's the wind shear, there's the rotation that has prompted this tornado warning. I-44 is here. If I had to guess, it's going to be right here, located on I-44, impacting towards the east. Can we zoom in all the way to this area? Because I want to see if I do have to send everyone to shelter. Where is this at? There's Bishop, Skyline, Highway 7, East Gore. What road is this? Oh, stop and zoom in right here. That's what I'm trying to figure out. Is that Flower Mound? Okay, so we are seeing some power flashes. So guys, I am going to send everyone to the other side of the building, please. Sending everyone here at KSWO to the other side. Right now it's on Flower Mound is where that rotation currently is located. I do not have confirmation that this is on the ground, but there's just radar indicated. Those winds are coming together. That couplet is tightening. So everybody that is in the station, can we please go to the other side of the building with the exception of the weather team for now?
Getting everybody in there.
Okay.
You guys stay out here until you feel comfortable.
Yep. I do. Can you try to get Facebook Live for me, though, in the meantime?
We'll see what I can do.
Or if Brian is available. I'm not sure why that screen is up there, and I'm not exactly sure. But right here, Alex, if we can go up, this is on Gore Boulevard. Zoom out just a little bit. Don't zoom in so much. That definitely seems to be tight. And what does wind shear look like currently on this? All right, now zoom out and let's see what wind shear. This has weakened compared to what it was showing, but this is still showing some pretty decent indications of some rotation. So we do want people to take their tornado precautions right now. If you are in Lawton, Hunter, is the Cameron University tower cam back up and running? I do see it's changed since it last froze, but I just want to make sure that's the case right now. Highway 7 is here. We have Southwest Bishop here. Gore Boulevard here. If you're north of Gore, get to your tornado precautions right now. It's not working? Okay, so unfortunately, Cameron University Tower Cam is out, so we are not going to be able to go to that tower cam to see if we do have any indication of rotation, but we're seeing some power flickers. I'm sure many people are also seeing some powering flickering as well. West Gore Boulevard, this is Northwest Columbia Ave. I-44 currently is right here. This is east of Fort Sill Boulevard being here, West Gore being here. This is where the current rotation is showing strongest. Let's zoom on out and just show you everyone else just how broad this rotation is. It pretty much includes most of Lawton from Rogers Lane, Highway 62, all the way down to Southwest Bishop Street. And we should be seeing some radar scans here soon. Alex, can we go back to velocity, please? I do hear some hail here at the station, so definitely some updrafts with this storm. Let's zoom on out just a little bit more. It's not organized rotation by any means, complete organized rotation, but there's still a lot of velocity here, that blue indicating some of those stronger winds. Guys in the back, do we have Justin's shot up by any chance? I know he said he was on, okay. Okay, I just wanted to make sure. Thank you, Jason, for that. So we're gonna continue to coordinate and see if we can get Justin shot up here very shortly. But tornado warning is in place for Lawton, so make sure folks on the east side of town to be taking your tornado precautions. Pretty much just everyone. Alex, can we go back to the actual tornado warning so people can see that polygon? This is south of Medicine Park, south of Elgin. Geronimo, you are not in the warning either, but Pumpkin Center, Highway 65 is is also included in this warning. And then there is a severe thunderstorm warning also with this, but we have some inflow here. So the rotation definitely is getting feed into with the amount of wind there. And then now a new severe thunderstorm warning on the back side of things. Alex, what's velocity look like now with that latest? Because this inflow here, and you got to speak up. Make sure your mic is on. I cannot hear you in my ear. Jason, can we make sure that mic 6 is also coded? Okay, because I'm not hearing Alex by any.
Oh,
All right, go ahead,
hear me
Alex.
now? Okay, yeah, so this new severe thunderstorm warning that just got issued with 80-mile-per-hour winds.
Okay.
Looks like, yep, tornado is officially on the ground, is the report we just got here in studio as well. So southwest.
And try to speak up a little more, Alex, because of the hail.
Yeah, so south side of Lawton on Sheridan Road in Lee.
Sheridan Road in Lee, and that is observed tornado on the ground?
Yes.
All right, folks, you just heard that. Sheridan, Lawton Police Department, Sheridan and Lee is where the confirmed tornado now is on the ground. What direction is this moving? I assume southeast, but how fast is what I want to know.
We have, southeast at 30 miles per hour.
Okay, so let's go back. Let's zoom out, go back to velocity. This rear is definitely feeding this. So folks, you guys heard that. There is an observed tornado on the ground confirmed from the Lawton Police Department. This is on Southwest Lee Boulevard and Southwest Sheridan. So that is, there's an area here that also looks concerning, but if we zoom in here, because Sheridan and Lee is here, and that's where that confirmed tornado on the ground would be, and I would bet that's exactly where Sheridan is located. There's Southwest F, Southwest 11th Street, so even further. Zoom, Alex, you don't have to go too far in, so just kind of zoom on out a little bit more just to see where that couplet is. Do we have any pictures, Hunter, of that? Yeah, this is definitely where the tornado would be located on the ground currently with those velocities, the greens and the yellows coming together. Highway 7, 11th Street, Central Mall is right here. Southwestern Hospital is there, but I thought Southwestern was more down Lee. Emmanuel Baptist is right here on Highway 7. The Mattie Beal Park is here being impacted. Anywhere towards the east of here does need to take those safety precautions. Do we have Justin yet by any chance? Okay, Justin had to move for safety, definitely understandable. Well, hopefully we'll get to him soon. All right, we have a new velocity scan, so let's zoom out and see what that is. And Cameron University Tower Cam is still unfortunately down, so I don't think we're going to be able to get a signal from there to see. The good news with the latest velocity scan, it has decreased. It's not as tight as it once was. But either way, east side of town, west side of town, north side of town, south side of town, please take those safety precautions. We are under a tornado warning for the city of Lawton. Matt and Jared are on their way to this storm as we speak. They're going to get here as quickly as they can. They were watching some other rotation out near Medicine Park, but I can see their feet up and running. They are on their way. These reds coming together, indicating where we are seeing the velocities, and I hear the thunder here. Let's zoom on out a little bit more, Alex. See, there definitely looks to be a few areas of concern, but going back to going back to radar, Frederick radar site, the inflow of this is definitely being driven. But Lawton Police Department was saying Lee and Sheridan is where we did have a confirmed tornado on the ground. I'm not sure if that's been passed along to the National Weather Service, but so far it hasn't gone white, which is great news. But this is not only producing a tornado, but this is producing some heavy rain, gustier winds. I'm sure you folks are dealing with that as well here. I know I can hear the hail, I can hear the winds here at the east side, and we're on Southeast 60th Street. All right, Cameron is up and working, but it looks to be, you're going to the west, so go right, and that'll get you to the south, Hunter. But everyone is in Lawton right now. It doesn't matter north, south, east, west side of town. Get to your safe space. If you have friends that happen to have a shelter, maybe a few doors down, run over there. Now is the time to implement that plan in place. You need to make sure that you're in the lowest part of your home. Follow those duck rules. D for downstairs, U underneath something, C center part of your home, and then K, keep away from windows. We are under a tornado warning, and it's now just been updated, that latest tornado warning, and I kind of expected that given the inflow here, but that does look like it is dying slightly, which is good. What was that latest update? East at 20, so it did slow down a little bit.
We're getting a last shot up for you.
Okay, thank you. And folks, I do apologize if you're tuning in. Sharika, do you know if Cole's flipped the app?
Yes, you're streaming.
Okay, perfect. We are having some Facebook issues right now, so we do apologize that we were not able to go Facebook Live, but we are streaming, obviously, on KSWO Channel 7, and we are streaming on our app. So make sure to tell your folks and friends and families to go ahead and go watch us on Channel 7, which is here, or through our Facebook app. Any other reports of...
Yeah, so I'm seeing right now, radar indicated it's saying up to baseball size hail, but the reports that I'm seeing right now are saying up to golf ball size hail with this system as well.
Okay.
So definitely seeing some good size hail here.
Okay, let's go back to velocities real quick. I want to... Alex, can you continue to talk about velocities real quick?
Yeah, right now we got this rotation, still a little bit of a broad area. Looking at a report now, actually, we just got golf ball size hail reported at Highway 7 and Bethel Road here. So if you're along Highway 7 here, obviously the rotation, that's a big concern, but also hail and straight line winds would also be a concern. Overall, just a very destructive system coming through the area right now. Let's go back to the actual satellite, or the radar here, and see what we're seeing. So still seeing that inflow, if I can draw on here for you guys. Yeah, so you're still seeing that inflow right here from that system, really bringing in that air and wrapping around. I don't know if we have any reports currently of if that tornado is still on the ground or not. I know we were seeing power flashes here in Lawton not too long ago, but I haven't seen anything in the last couple of minutes saying if this is on the ground or not. So either way, take this seriously. Get to your safe place now, as we are not entirely sure with the reports if it's still on the ground or not. Definitely still destructive hail and winds regardless of if it's on the ground. So you want to get down to your lowest floor in your house and get away from windows, be in an interior room. Definitely want to just stay safe with this system as it's coming through the area. Let's take a look, see now at rotation, if I can pull it up for you guys. Wind shear. Okay, yeah, so we are seeing still a messy system overall. There's not too many, there isn't one tight spot of a rotation yet, still a broad area of rotation here over the eastern side of Lawton now, moving out of the Lawton area to a degree. Looks like I'm seeing a report right now of there are some telephone poles down here between 38th and 24th and Lee in southwest Lawton. So definitely some winds that just came through the area. It's still out, the system's still out there at the moment though. Definitely just stay safe in your shelter place at this moment.
And we do have, folks, I'm just off screen trying to get the Facebook Live up and running, but it doesn't appear to be. Alex, if you want to try to do that in the meantime, that would be great. We do have, again, some reports of power poles being down. That's 38th and what was that again? 38th and 24th on Lee. Tornado warning is still up and going for now the east side of Comanche County, Lawton. I-44 is right here. We have a ton of lightning on the northwest side of town. And folks in the back, if we could call the police department and see if they have any other reports, emergency managers, just kind of see what's going on. Someone check KSWO, see if we have power outages. That would be great, please. But we still have this inflow of air. That air is going to be driving in. Let's actually, do we have Justin's shot right now? Okay, let's go ahead and take Matt Walker and Jared Burke's shot. Guys, where are you located? Do we have a shot outside of the station? Okay, can we take that? My apologies. We'll check back with them. I'm not sure where Matt and Jared are at the present moment. Okay, so we are on the 60th. We are on Southeast 60th. We are on the east side of the station. Looking out the doors from our back door, this is facing towards the west, due west actually, probably a little bit more southwest. Not seeing, definitely the rain. We were seeing a whole ton of hail just a little bit ago, but we're seeing the lightning and hearing the thunder. Clouds don't appear to be rotating from what I see from this view, which is some good news. But we're not dealing with the heaviest of the rain. The heaviest of the rain is currently located on the northwest side of town. So folks, please get in your safe spaces. Take those tornado safety precautions because this tornado warning is issued for Lawton. It's a very dense and populated area that is under this tornado warning. And at one point, we did have a confirmed tornado on the ground from the police department stating it was on Sheridan and Lee, but there are some poles down on 38th and Lee, but regardless, tornadic activity or not, oh, there was a nice lightning strike there. Regardless if it's tornadic activity or not, this is still producing very dangerous wind gusts. And those wind gusts have been up to 70 miles per hour so far. Likely in some of the strongest of storms, it's going to be a little bit higher than that. So you need to take your safety precautions, whether you're in the tornado warning or not. So everyone that is in Comanche County currently under under a severe thunderstorm warning or under a tornado warning needs to be staying away from windows. Remember, we can see, if not worst conditions from winds compared to tornadic activity, but the rain is definitely picking up, and I'm not sure whose shot this is out there, but greatly appreciate them and the camera that they have. I am probably gonna step off of this, that way they can get inside and shut that door. Alex, if you are back over, let's go to, yes, exactly. Can we actually back up a little bit, because I wanna see what this looked like, because it looked like there was some rotation that we could see visibly from the radar. Yeah, right there. But where the Lawton Police Department was saying on 38th, or on Sheridan and Lee, which is on this side, where this is obviously east of I-44. Either way, there's definitely been some inflow from this. So these storms are fueling off of nothing from the south of it. Walters is fine, Comanche is fine. Heads up to Marlow. Let's actually zoom out just to southwest Oklahoma, Alex, if you don't mind. Okay. So this is the entire view of southwest Oklahoma. Hobart, you guys are fine. Frederick is fine. Altus, Hollis, you folks are dry. We do have this tornado warned storm, severe thunderstorm warning. Power has now flickered and been lost off. So we are gonna move over to the weather center, because that's where the house lights will eventually kick on. And we are going to find some light kits, and we are going to get set up in the weather center. So power is out here at the east side. Folks, if you guys have your reports, if you are without power, please let us know. We want to have those reports. We want to see what is going on. All right, so we are here. Okay, so now we're just taking max directly because we no longer have that ability, but we are going to continue to keep you guys posted on what is happening here in Texoma because of this tornado warned storm. I want to go on to velocity right now, because there does appear to be another area of rotation. And what I was saying before the power went out was there does appear to be some rotation heading towards Duncan, and with the radar, if we go back to that, Central High, Marlow, Duncan, you guys are seeing some rain. Tornado warning is not in your area yet for those along Highway 81, but please be on alert because this will likely be extended to Highway 81. So again, heads up, Marlow, Duncan, Empire City, please be taking those tornado precautions. But I want to zoom in and show you velocity right now. Actually want to back it up and show you where that area of rotation was. We had a few areas east of the interstate, but we also had some areas of rotation Southeast Trail near Southeast 90th, as well as Northeast Trail Road. There did appear to be a slight couplet at one point, as well as one on the northeast side of town, that blue area that you see. And we are going to continue to move this forward and kind of show what is happening now. So we are on Southeast 60th Street here in Lawton. We're about a mile off of Homeland on the east side of town, and we are without power. Folks, if you are without power, please send in your reports either through weather or either through our weather email, weather@kswo.com, either through our website, kswo.com. All right, Haley is showing me that 9,593 people in Lawton are currently without power, and there are 32 outages. Thank you for that, Haley. Has anyone gotten a hold of...
Tanya's working to get a hold of emergency management.
Okay, thank you.
She said, not information yet. We'll report on social.
Okay. Am I still going to be sitting? Okay, sounds good. Okay, thank you for that, Gabe. I'm not sure what happened or what went wrong. X out of that, Alex, and how you go and minimize, nope, not that one. Minimize OBS, yep. Go back to there, and then stream through that way. Okay, here we go, folks. Sorry about that. All right, so we are currently getting set up so we can provide my face back on TV. We are without power, and they do have it. This is currently our setup that we have in place. It is a little bit dark. I think for the time being, I am gonna keep Max 1 just because I don't want my back to be turned. So let's go back and jump to velocity on Max 1, Jason. Thank you for that. We do have this area of slight rotation that is headed towards the south part of Central High. This is northeast of Hewlin. And they are continuing that tornado warning, and they have now included Stevens County in that tornado warning. So as I suggested, they are continuing that tornado warning for Stevens County. And now it's moving east at 45. There's still this inflow that is developing, and that's why, you know, we're seeing some of that, these storms strengthen. So the tornado warning hasn't come up just yet, or it does include south of Nellie, 156th Street, 173. I know we're seeing a ton of rain here. I can hear it on the roof. I'm not sure if you guys can hear it, but again, the heavy rain, there's hail involved in these as well. Just look at how much hail is being dumped over Lawton. This is radar estimated. There is a bit of a baseball size hail south of Rogers Lane. Let's actually zoom in. North of Gore, 52nd between 38th Street. There is a sliver of baseball-sized hail according to radar, but there's also, let me go ahead and query this so you guys can see, billiard ball-sized hail, golf ball-sized hail. This is producing some very large amounts of hail. So folks, please get into your safe spaces, especially if you're in the east half of Comanche County, because this is moving towards the southeast, and it has increased. It's come together, and there's also some hail being reported or radar estimated from Central High and also near Letitia and north of Hewlin. These are destructive storms, and they are producing baseball-sized hail. 80. Make sure to, if you're under.
In this area west of Geronimo, so you're probably about to see a tornado warning come out for parts of Cotton and southern parts of Comanche County.
Okay, so yeah, that's what Ken is talking about right here. They're probably going to warn it. And we have not seen nothing on the ground yet, but on radar, that's that rotation that we're looking at. You can see that hook over there where he was talking about as well. But the broad picture, you can see down here in Wichita Falls, though, there's still nothing happening right now. That dry line is making its way through Texoma right now. But like you see, that warm front over here near Chattanooga, and there's that tornado warning right there over Walters and also parts of Chattanooga. That's that tornado warning that we were talking about that Ken just mentioned. They just issued that. So if you're in this area, go ahead and take shelter just to be safe and make sure that you're not outside. If you're driving, just keep on pull over and make sure that you're not in this area. This is along I-44 on Geronimo, a little bit south of Lawton, right over Walters. That's where you can see that tornado warning, and also a little bit west of Duncan as well. But like I mentioned, with this supercell system, you can see that this is a super dangerous storm, heavier downpours of rain, lots of golf ball size to hail associated with it, and heavy and damaging wind speeds as well. So you just want to stay safe and make sure you're staying inside and not outside. Let the storm chasers do their job and let them go out there and storm chase. Don't try to go out there and get that perfect picture because these storms are dangerous. Do we have a live camera picture?
We do. I can pull up the Burt Burnett for you here. The storm is probably a little bit too far away to be able to see it from Burt, but we're going to pull it up anyway. And I probably need to go in here and do some stuff to get rid of the currents there. Give me a second. I'm going to do something to pull that up real fast. So if I could. I can do that. Well, my computer's trying to slow up, and I got that spin taking effect. All right, so here we go. This would probably pop up Graham Tower Cam, and now what I want to do is pop up the Lawton. I want to pop up Burt Burnett's what I want to do. That's what I want to do here.
Looks like Lawton's is
yeah,
still
so give me
down
just a
right
second
now.
here. I know there's a lot going on here, and just give me just a second here. I'm gonna pull up the Burt Burnett Tower Cam there, and I got the currents off. But looking north, it's really hard to see anything because of the haze that is showing up. We got so much moisture around; we get a real hazy atmosphere.
Right. So like Ken just mentioned, you can't really see nothing, but that is north of Burt Burnett over Walters and by Chattanooga as well. That's where that tornado warning is happening right now. Up there, most of the action is north of the Red River. Nothing here in North Texas currently, but anything can pop up because of the instability that is out there, and also that Cape. There's a lot of energy and spin within the atmosphere that could produce these storms that we're seeing north of the Red River into Lawton as well. Do you mind going back to the reflectivity, Ken?
Yes, let's do that right now, Jaden. I was just in the process trying to communicate there with Cameron for a few minutes. Hey, look at there. We got thunderstorms that finally developed there in parts of in North Texas. So that could be some storms there too, Jaden, that we may have to deal with in Wichita Falls. It'll be interesting to see how all this plays out. There's some big storms up to the north there, and they could wind up dominating everything. But look at that big hook there just west of Duncan. That is a massive, massive hook showing up on the radar. I'm looking at the velocities now, and I believe we have a tornado there that has redeveloped north of Empire City. So if you could come back over here and run radar for me here for a few minutes. And by the way, Encore reporting about 9,000 people without power in the Lawton area. But wow, there's your one little tornado warning there. This doesn't look that intense right now to me. We'll watch it. But this storm here, I believe that's a tornado that's redeveloped there south of Nellie. This is just west of Duncan. And this is headed right at Duncan. So if you live in Duncan, you want to be in your safe spot or be getting there soon. This storm has been recycling. It's produced multiple what we call mesocyclones. So we see the strong winds cutting back in. This is your warm inflow winds pouring in, blowing into the storm. This is where your hook echo would be. And then there's your outflow. There's your RFD kind of spinning on around, and you got that couplet rib, strong couplet at that south of Nelly. So it looks like we have a tornado based upon radar imagery anyway. And the latest update, it kind of makes that a bit larger. Jaden, I believe, and you can go to you may want to pull up the Weather Service and see, I believe we got a fairly large tornado trying to develop south of Nelly there. And this is headed right at Duncan. And hopefully, if this tornado is on the ground, it lifts before it gets to Duncan. Duncan is a pretty heavily populated area, but I believe we have a tornado developing, or a tornado perhaps on the ground there south of Nelly, just based upon what I'm seeing on the radar here. That's a pretty tight circulation. It's pretty large, too, so we could have a significant tornado with this south of Nelly, north of Coram, and just west. Remember, this storm is moving east-southeast. This storm is going to be into Duncan here pretty soon. It's moving pretty fast. So we're going to want to make sure that we are all over this, and make sure that we, keep an eye on this as it moves towards the Duncan area. So let me take a look here at the weather. Did the Weather Service say anything at all?
They didn't say nothing.
Keep an eye on storm moving to northwest Oklahoma. They're just talking about storms off to the north there, but that to me is a pretty significant circulation there in that storm just west of Duncan. And the storm that's kind of south of Geronimo to me does not look like it has organized circulation. You see the red color and you see the green color, but I'll tell you something I see here. That is some really strong outflow winds. These are winds blowing out away from the storm. Remember, in the thunderstorm itself, you have this real cool air that develops on the top of it. Now, at the bottom of it, you got this intense warm air, all this energy, all that CAPE. It's called convective available potential energy. Think back to science class, and I talk about this all the time. Think back to science class. Potential energy, what is that? Energy sitting still. Kinetic energy is energy in motion. The thunderstorm would be your kinetic energy. It'd be your energy in motion, and it's feeding off of all of that. So you get all this rising motion, all that warm air, all that energy. And these storms are way, way, way high in the atmosphere, too. But as it gets up top, that air starts to get cold. So cold air, it sinks. It doesn't rise. Warm air rises. Cold air sinks. So you got it coming out on both sides. The upper level winds push it out in a couple different directions. But these are strong, that strong outflow wind. Those are some really strong winds now. Looks like kind of northwest of Geronimo. Really strong winds. And this may be perhaps on the leading edge of what may be the gust front of that thunderstorm, perhaps maybe. So this could be maybe a gust-nado type situation there along 44. And it looks like that the rotation, still a decent circulation back that way, but it may not be a tornado on the ground. Jaden, have you got anything new to add to any of this?
Cam said he's back on, so if you want to.
All right, so to put reflectivity back on, and let's kind of expand this some. Look at that big hook though that extends all the way down south of Geronimo. Now let's expand this and go into North Texas, because that's where Cameron is located at. Let's take Cameron. He's in the Comanche Nation Entertainment First Alert 6 Storm Tracker. And if we have Cameron, you can see some explosive development there with that cumulonimbus cloud. Cameron, what I want you to do is I want you to tell me where you're located at and what you're after at this time.
All right, man. I'm going to take that as yes. So we are north of Benjamin right now.
All right, so we don't have audio. Okay. All right. So, but anyway, we are going to watch that. He's down into North Texas. And if you go back to the radar, I believe that Cameron is probably on this storm here that's developing. Let's go back to radar if we can.
He's in Benjamin right now.
Oh, so he's in Benjamin. He's I believe he's way out of position. I don't know. I think he may be trying to. Road network can be pretty hard back over that way, so he may be having to maneuver his way around. I know it's his first time out, so it could be tough. But that's a nice picture of that thunderstorm there. That's explosive in itself. All right, let's go back over to the radar, and we are looking into the. And this is where I think that Cameron is probably trying, and that cloud you saw, I think, is probably this here. Let's put a little motion on that. Just put a little lapse on that if you could. And let's see how this develops. This whole area has been not a storm track. Just do the lapse. Just put it in motion. Just play it. Yeah, there's play it. And just get rid of this here. We don't need that. So we're not really tracking it. We're just looking at it. So what I'll do is here, I'll come over and show you. What we're doing here is, first thing I want to do is just get rid of this here. That's how you do it. And then we'll just go up here and hit this. So as you can see, that is moving, Jaden. It's moving east-northeast. And this would head, if it can maintain itself, if it grows. And I don't know that it will. These storms down here, for some reason, have really struggled this afternoon. But if it can maintain itself, this will have a chance to perhaps move into the western parts of Wichita County, maybe in about the next hour or so. And also a big supercell up north of Childress. But, one thing that's maybe happening, too, you're seeing that warm front that's been sitting there is getting pushed south a little bit. So, if that happens, and these storms might be producing some rain-cooled air dropping south, then that might drop into the area, and that could actually cool things off, and it might actually help to eliminate the instability or decrease it in the atmosphere. But for now, 2 powerful thunderstorms. We got one moving into Duncan. There's a tornado warning for Duncan now, and we got this other tornado warning that includes the Walters area. Now, this tornado warning here, this might be outflow dominant. Let's stop this and kind of zoom into this part of the storm here. Then we'll go over and check out Duncan if we could. All right, let's put on the storm relative velocities here. This looks like to me an outflow boundary. Boy, that's a strong, strong signal there. Now let's stop it from moving here. Just put stop. And you do got the winds that are kind of blowing out from the thunderstorm here. This would be that's a strong outflow boundary there. So far it has not circulated up, but we need to watch and see and make sure this doesn't cut back into the thunderstorm, because if that happens and we start seeing this cut back into the storm, there may be a little bit of something right in here trying to spin a little bit. Nothing that's tight, nothing that's tornadic, but that is a strong wind signature blowing away from the radar there, kind of south of Geronimo. So it looks like you have broad rotation in this area back into the west. This would be your outflow in this area, winds that are pushing out from the thunderstorm. But you do have a little bit of a stronger push somewhere in this area here. So we'll have to keep an eye on that. So far, nothing tornadic. This is not a tornadic circulation in here. There may be some little small things back there in the rain itself. It doesn't look like anything too significant at this time, but we need to watch this area over Geronimo and over towards Walters real closely. Let's go kind of over closer to Duncan. Let's take a look at that part of the thunderstorm. Looks like we do have a tornado, and this is what we talk about gate-to-gate shear. Look at how tight that is in that area there. You've got the couplet. You've got these whites and these yellows and greens blowing strongly towards the radar site, and you got these reds. That's a real strong couplet there. I believe that's a tornado there on the ground, perhaps. Going to be west of Duncan, kind of over the extreme western parts of Stevens County. It looks like to me there's probably a bit of a tornado there, to be honest about it. So we'll have to watch that and see if that can do anything. Just put this in motion, and let's go to. Let me look at something here real fast. So I want to go into motion with this, Jaden, and kind of look at how this is evolved here. Yeah, so you can really see it on the storm relative velocity there. Let's put this in. You can see how it's just rotating and kind of spinning. It almost looks like that's almost spinning, almost sitting stationary, to be honest about it. I mean, it really isn't moving a whole lot. So that is looks like a pretty significant. You can see how you had this broad circulation and how it really wrapped around. And looks like we do have a tornado, perhaps, maybe. Look at the Weather Service and see if they're seeing anything confirmed. It's probably wrapped in rain, I would imagine.
Just says any reports on Geronimo tornado.
Oh yeah. Okay. Well, I'm right now. I'm more concerned with this one west of Duncan. In addition to, a possible tornado, you've got strong winds moving into Duncan now that could be an order of 70 to 80 miles per hour. I mean, 60 to 70 miles per hour certainly seems possible moving right along Duncan. But you've got a lot of circulation and a lot of spin back in here. So it wouldn't be surprising to me, if we continue to see periodic bouts of what looks like mostly brief tornadoes with this as it makes its way east and southeast. And of course, all this is radar indicated. This is not anything confirmed, but these things are so wrapped in rain, you probably wouldn't be able to see it anyway. So we're going to have to keep an eye on this. And matter of fact, there's the latest radar imagery, just shows that dissipating. And now here's the new circulation. You can see these winds are kind of pushing south. You can see almost a southward push, and you got a bit of an eastward push here. So you have a new circulation developing west of Duncan here and east of Hewlin. So it's broad. But the way the characteristics of this storm has been for it to recycle. You'll see it produce perhaps small tornadoes. We kind of saw that over Lawton. We've probably seen a couple of these small tornadoes, brief spin-ups here, but we may wind up seeing that to reorganize maybe to the west or southwest of Duncan, and that could head towards the Empire City area. Look at those heavy and strong winds. Let's go back and look at the storm closer to Geronimo, and let's see what it's doing at this time and see if there's anything new with that. I see a couple things here. Let's stop this from moving. Kind of a weird scenario because you would think that your tornado would develop in here, but there looks like there might be a tornado right in that area.
So a confirmed tornado was located 4 miles northwest of Walters.
Okay, so the Walters area is here, so that would suggest that I'm assuming that this would be your tornado wrapped in rain. Let's put the reflectivity on. What I think may be going on here is this. I think that this is your boundary here. Remember, I've been talking about this boundary this afternoon. And by boundary, I mean it's a bit of it's kind of been a bit of a warm front, and the storm is riding right along it. You can see it kind of back into this area here, and it kind of wraps on back around. So what's happening is this is feeding into the storm, okay? And this is feeding increased what we call vorticity. It's called streamwise vorticity, or a better term for it is storm relative helicity. And as it feeds into that, it really helps to feed that updraft, and it really helps to increase the spin in the storm, and it really helps the low-level spin in the storm. So with the latest update on this, let's go back to storm relative velocity, and it looks like to me maybe a bit of a tornado there just north of Walters. Some broad rotation, but it is getting a little bit better organized. You can kind of see the mesocyclone, that would be the rotating part of the storm, and it looked like there was also maybe some spin-ups here on the backside. These storms are so strong, they're producing what looks like periodic bouts of tornadoes, is what it looks like to me. And there's your latest update there. You can see what looks like a broad spin. We've had reports of this producing a tornado kind of north of the Walters area, so we need to keep an eye on that. Now, in Lawton, you're still seeing heavy rain, awful weather there, but the tornadic threat is east and south of you now, basically along that warm front there. You can really see how that's feeding into this and increasing that low-level rotation, that low-level circulation. Let's kind of broaden this just a little bit if we could, so we can kind of move it back to the east a little bit. You can see strong winds there, but you see those blue colors. But this circulation is going to continue moving across the eastern parts of Cotton County. This is headed at Waurika, Lake Waurika. You could get in on this too. Southwestern parts of Stevens County, and we'll have to see. This could potentially threaten Waurika. Darren Beaver, I know you're out there chasing it. So if you are out there chasing it, let me know what you are seeing. If you have a live stream link, let me know about that too. So, all right, now put reflectivity back on. Jaden, you can stay over there at the desk. I want you to broaden this, and I want you to look at the storm down into North Texas, and let's see what it's doing. So what do you see with that right there? You see that? What do you think about that storm?
Well, that storm is crossing Highway 183 right now, and it definitely, Wichita Falls definitely needs to just be on a lookout as it's still, relatively far away. I'll look at timing real quick, see how far it is. So it's about 33 miles out. I say if you're in Iowa Park around 6:14, you can see that storm knocking on your doorsteps. It's not producing any tornado outlooks right now or anything with hail associated. There's no hail core with that as well. So it just seems like just your typical thunderstorm, not even a severe, it's not even severe warned yet, but just your typical thunderstorm with heavier downpours of rain and also, rumbles of thunder in that nature. But you still want to stay weather aware as you can see what's happening within Lawton, Duncan, and Walters right now. These are just from the same. This is all because of that dry line that's making its way through Texoma right now associated with that warm front. So just stay weather aware. That's the reason we are on here. I know a lot of people have storm anxiety and get nervous and things of that nature. Always have a plan, know where to go to shelter in case a tornado does happen, know who to call, make sure your loved ones know what's going on with the weather right now. But that storm system right now it's a little bit north of Seymour and also west of Wichita Falls right now and south of Vernon. It seems like it's trying to grow, but
it's trying to, Jaden, but it's got a little while to have that opportunity. I think that outflow boundary, the front itself is dropping south now, and it'll be interesting to see what happens when that interacts with it because there's a couple things that can happen with it. It'll either kill it. What's called it undercuts the updraft, and by what I mean by undercut is it chokes off the warm air, the storm energy flowing into it. Or if the storm is strong enough, it can actually pull the boundary back northward and increase the tornado potential. So we'll have to watch and see what happens. If that outflow boundary produced by those big supercells to the north is looks like it's about maybe 15, 20 miles north of Burt-Burnett and moving at a pretty good clip to the south. But I'll tell you what, Jaden, that storm is growing fast, and it's in a real favorable environment, at least for right now, for that storm to be rather intense. It'll be interesting to see what happens when it interacts with that outflow boundary and if it's able to either choke it off or if it's able to increase the storm spin. Now, this is a storm that could impact Wichita Falls. So we want it to die off. But the hail threats, the hail signatures are increasing quickly now south of Vernon. This will be just north of Lake Kemp. This will be over towards just kind of south of Vernon. And kind of just south of Grayback. Looking at the velocities in that, I do not see any spin in that storm at this point in time, which that's good news. But it's just now growing, and it could do more. But you can really see the circulations. There's actually a couple circulations with these thunderstorms. This big complex of supercells over here into Comanche, Cotton, and into Stevens County. And we may wind up seeing this becoming primarily outflow dominant, but there are several areas of rotation in these storms here. You got one kind of over to the west of Walters, or kind of near Walters. You got one southwest of Duncan, and you've got a new one there east-southeast of Geronimo. So we've got three separate circulations in this thunderstorm here. This is a dangerous storm. This is a dangerous storm, Jaden, regardless of whether or not it produces a tornado in your area. This is a very dangerous storm, producing big wind, big hail. You've got really, really, really strong winds into these areas right in there. It is really strong winds, especially right there. And then you got some circulation on the back side of it. And we'll have to see if the circulation over near Duncan can increase again. But you got a big hook there on that thunderstorm near Walters at this time. So it certainly is a pretty dangerous looking thunderstorm. I got some different velocities to look at here. Several areas of rotation.
Cam is back on live view.
Okay. We'll try to take Cam in a few minutes if we can here. But I put on just regular velocities on the storm. There's so many things to look at with this, and it can be super confusing, I know, to the general public. But